So within the LGBTQ plus community, terminology that people use to identify themselves and the identities that they hold is constantly evolving to better help themselves identify who they are. What is one piece of advice you would give to both dental students and future practitioners to kind of help them understand the constantly changing terminology? Because it's like once people get set with one set of terminology, it might be hard for them to transition to the new terminology. Like, what is something that you think?
Yeah, I think I agree. Like the terminology is constantly evolving, and so I think if it's something that comes up in your conversation with your patient, I think it's very important to meet them where they're at and understand, or at least recognize your ignorance in that situation. Like I think you can employ what we as dentists know how to do in terms of like developing relationships with your patients, and I think a big way you can do that is ask questions, right? Like if you don't know and you're like, oh, I'm not familiar with that term, like tell me more about it. And you're already validating their identity by asking that question because you're acknowledging that you don't know but you want to know. And so I think that that's a big step. And then from there, meeting them, obviously, once they explain that to you and be like, okay, like I can keep that in mind as I continue practicing.
Yeah.